Today is March 25th, and we are almost at the end of March, and we're still in the midst of Mercury retrograde. And of course, I'm sure that you've been feeling the energies and managing the energies as well as you can. And thankfully, we are almost at the end. So it's going really well for me so far, and I hope that it is for you, and all of the support that we've been pouring into this channel has been helping you. And today it's not a different day. Today we're going to be doing sun sign readings for Mercury retrograde, some oracle and tarot readings, just to kind of give you some guidance for each one of the sun signs, and hopefully that will support you in your journey of traversing this space. Cura, 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 corazón. Cura, cura, cura. Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And I am so grateful to be here today. Like I mentioned, is March 25th of 2025, and we are still in the midst of Mercury retrograde. I kind of wanted to mention that the moon today is in Aquarius, and in the Aquarius, energy is definitely being felt, at least for me, since I have my moon in Aquarius. So if you have your moon in Aquarius, you're probably feeling a little bit more inspired, right? We are heading over towards the solar eclipse that is happening this Saturday, 29th. And we have the new moon coming up in Aries as well, so which is that same day. So just keeping that in mind, because of the energies, and because we're sandwiched in this lunar and solar eclipse, and we have all of this energy, right, that we're kind of moving through, and really needing to lean into all of our tools, right? So if you're leaning into all of your tools during this time, listen, that's exactly what we need to do, what we need to be doing at this time. Some of you may have been doing a lot of work so far in clearing energies, in doing some intentional grounding, and you may not be feeling as ungrounded or as overwhelmed. But for those of you who are, just remember that this is temporary. It's a process that we're going through. It's an opportunity by the universe, right, for us to realign and reconnect with what is actually meant for us. So let me know in the comments, how are you feeling today? How are you experiencing this Mercury retrograde, this Venus in retrograde, this energy of the lunar and the solar eclipse? How is this showing up in your life? I'd love to find out. And I see here already some comments. So hi Shasawa, so happy that you're here. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh, I love it. Happy birthday. Today is day of Mars. And yes, we do have the new moon coming up in Aries as well. So that, and I'm sure you're feeling that energy as well. So happy that you're here. So you have a blessed day. Happy birthday to you. Oh my goodness. And so I'm gonna be sharing some readings for everyone today, using my oracle deck, the Spirit of Psilocybin oracle deck. If you are interested in finding out more about it, I will leave information on the description below, or on the comments below later. I kind of put aside the publication of them, but I am using them. These are my original cards channeled by for the Spirit of Psilocybin. So I will be using this alongside with tarot to give messages today. But before we move into that, I kind of wanted to share some messages from our sponsor. Hi, I just wanted to take this moment to invite you to come over to my website, www.thebloominglotushealing.com. That's www.thebloominglotushealing.com, and sign up for my email list so that you can stay in touch and find out about activities that I don't announce here on YouTube. And you can also get to know all of the classes that I offer, as well as the one-on-one offerings that I have available there for you. Speaking of that beautiful video where I am sharing my website, I kind of want to let you know that if you go to my website, and sign up for my email list and come back here and write on the comments Venus in retrograde clearing, Venus in retrograde clearing, then you will be entered into a raffle where you will be able to receive a clearing with me, a one-on-one session, and it's a free session that you get just for as a thank you, just for signing up for my email list and for watching my videos here on YouTube. So I want to invite you to sign up for that. Head over to my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, and sign up for that email list, and then come back here and comment Venus in retrograde clearing, Venus in retrograde clearing, so that you can be entered into the raffle. I will be announcing on March 28th the winner. If you were listening to that on the podcast, just so you know, that is a little sample of the original music that we are posting on the sister channel at the Akashic Records channel. In order for you to find it, because it's brand new, you want to make sure that you find it through YouTube on the search bar. You want to make sure that you put the @ sign, the Akashic Records channel. You can go ahead and subscribe and receive additional clearing, additional support, and to support your energy during this time of Mercury retrograde, or just in general. Maybe if you're having a hard time, maybe there's certain positions in your own chart that are kind of making things a little difficult for you, you can head over there and receive some clearings and support there, and original meditation music. Please do support that channel. And if you want to become a patron, you can click on the link below or above if you're on Facebook, so that you can support the channel by becoming an exclusive member, where you get access to the videos before we even post them on YouTube, and then you get access to them ad-free. Since this is on YouTube and it's not being monetized, I don't have control to be able to tell YouTube when to place the ads. So if you want to have access to them ad-free, then you want to make sure that you sign up for that membership. I also want to invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so, and make sure that you hit that bell button so that you know when I go live next. And also I want to invite you to share and like this video. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm so grateful to be here and present with you. And let's open this sacred container together. Let's go ahead and ground with spirit, really give ourselves permission to be present, create space for ourselves. It's so important for us to create a space for us to just be grounded, be connected with ourselves, to have that beautiful understanding of where we're going. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed with life. We're going go, 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 and we're not giving ourselves the space. So I want to invite you to take this moment to just do a quick checkup with yourself. We're going to take this moment just to place our hands on our heart space. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. If you want to just soften your gaze, whatever's more comfortable for you. But I just want to invite you to take this moment to place your hand on your heart space. And let's take this moment just to see where we're at. How are you feeling today? What is your emotion? What is your primary emotion at this moment? Try to feel into where you are existing in the emotional wheel at this moment. And sometimes it's hard for us to really recognize where we are existing. We don't even understand what's happening. We can't really put hands or legs to the specific emotion that we're feeling, but it's important to feel into that. So I want to invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Release your mouth. If you want to let out a sigh, take another deep breath in through your nose. And release. Relaxing your body, relaxing yourself. And just go back and feel into where you are existing now. Are you feeling neutral? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling peaceful? Are you feeling sad, upset, angry? Whatever that emotion is, whether it is in the positive or in the negative side of it, we want to honor that emotion. That is what's important for us to really be mindful of every day. Take this space every day to recognize where we are existing is so important for our daily lives. So important for us to relate to others is to know how are we relating to ourselves? Are we taking the time to relate to ourselves every day? So give yourself this gift, this space to relate to yourself and notice where you're at. And we don't want to change anything. We don't want to push anything away. We just want to be present with where we are at this moment and honor the sacredness of what we're feeling at this moment. Understanding that this is just temporary. Emotions come and go, they're fickle. And wherever we are now at this very moment can change in the next minute, the next hour, the next day. Just take another deep breath in through your nose. And release your mouth. And you can let go of your hands now. And as we open the sacred container, I call upon Archangel Michael to shield and protect this space, calling angels of light, light beings, forces of light to come forth and support this space. Bless this space with a rainbow light, with a light energy. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to be of service to those who need their support. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to give the gift of intention, give the gift of just peace, support, knowledge, wisdom, intuition. Thank you, Spirit. I'm calling upon Archangel Raphael to support this space, to create a beautiful container of emerald green light so that all of what is said here is healing and supportive. Let this be activating for those who need it, whether they're watching this now or on the replay. Offering so much love and attention and awareness to the spirits of the land, whether they are here present with me or whether they are present with those who are in different parts of the world. We honor you, dear spirits, and we thank you for caring for this planet, for this land. Calling in our well ancestors. Thank you for supporting us. Calling in our spirit guides, our spirit team, our spirit animals, calling them in. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so we're going to open this beautiful container with some readings. And as we open this container for the readings, I want to offer you some sage, the spirit of sage, to clear the space. Asking Spirit to clear, remove, and send to perfect place any entities, blocks, interferences, extra souls, discordant energies, imprints, any programs, imprints, energies that keep these souls from receiving the truth and the truth only. Clearing the space and offering this to the ancestors of the land. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so let's get started with our readings. Okay, so we're going to start with Aries. I'm going to go through each one of the signs. And let me go ahead and put this here. I'm going to do Mercury Retrograde. We're going to get some Mercury Retrograde messages for all sun signs. We're going to put that here on the ticker. There we go. Get that ticker going. All right, Spirit of psilocybin, thank you for being here, for supporting us today. We would like to get information messages for those who are of the sign of Aries. Of the sign of Aries, we would like to know, what is it that we need to share with them? What's the wisdom that you can share with them during this time of Mercury retrograde? What do they need to know? Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. During this time, dear beautiful Aries, we have the card of inertia that came up for you. Okay. We also have the card of Grandmother Earth, as well as the card of intergalactic. Powerful, powerful, powerful message here. Because what I see here for you, dear Aries, is that first of all, you've been experiencing or been dealing with resistance, whether it is within you or without. It could be potentially in your environment, and you're being invited to really take a look at where in your life you could potentially bring a little bit more of that open and honest conversation about the things that need to bring a little bit of fairness. Like, how can you bring some fairness back into your conversations and your interactions? Maybe you're feeling like there's been resistance because of the fact that you feel like things are not fair and you're not really necessarily speaking up about this. We have the Queen of Swords coming up, so it's important that you really give yourself permission to open up the conversation. How can you bring a conversation forth with those around you that will create sort of like an opening so that you can move through this energy of resistance? Maybe the other person is resisting because of their own limiting beliefs, and then you're feeling that resistance, and in turn you may be reacting to it. But what you really need to be doing at this time is stepping into your inner wisdom. We got the card of the spirit of grandmother earth, really telling us to slow down. So how can you slow down and kind of go within yourself and think about what wisdom can you harness from yourself and share with those around you, so that resistance can be cleared. It's almost like I'm being shown the this aspect of yourself of just becoming the one. You are becoming the one who has to kind of take the role of clearing that resistance yourself, right? Like, if you continue to react to the expression of what's happening, then that's not going to work. With the intergalactic card here, what tells me is that you have the support that you need at this moment to release this energy. So all you have to do again is to call in that support, call in those spirit guides, call in your spirit team, so that you can activate your throat chakra and speak from a place of love, a place of truth, a place of wisdom, and move that energy around into a place that is more balanced and just for everyone. Okay, you're seeing something that is not just, and it's important that you speak up and you actually bring things back into balance by saying or sharing your inner wisdom. Okay, all right, so that's what I have for you, dear Aries. We're going to move on to Taurus. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity. What's the message for Mercury in retrograde that we have so far? We are in the middle of Mercury retrograde right now, Spirit. What is the message that we have for Tauruses at this time? Thank you. Thank you. All right. So for Taurus, we got the card of shadow medicine for you. We got the card of the fruits. And we got the card of embodiment for you. What this means, dear Taurus, is that right now you may be dealing with some triggers. You've been triggered. You've been so triggered right now, dear Taurus, that you may be overwhelmed with that energy, and you may be feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can navigate this. But you got to remember that if you want to see results at this time, if you want to harvest change, if you want to see change, if you want to see the shift in your life, you got to understand and lean in to these shadows that are showing up for you. Why? Because you're being called to be an embodiment of who you're meant to be, meaning your soul is calling you to align yourself to the truth of who you are meant to be at this time. All right, you may be dealing with the fact that you have this idealistic way of seeing yourself or even seeing the world. You wish that things were different. You wish that you could be better at things, or you could react to things in a way that is more graceful, or even more open, or whatever that is for you. But this is what I want to tell you, dear Taurus. You're not here to embody something that you are not. You're meant to embody who you are at this time, right? And who you're meant to be expressing on this lifetime. Remember that there's so many versions of you at this time, so many versions of you. Speaking from the Akashic Records level, we're not just one version, we're several versions. And this version of who you're meant to be now, we want to accept. We want to accept who we are, lean into our shadows, meaning that we want to accept those shadows, we want to nourish them, we want to bring light to them, not because we want to cut them away, but because we want to integrate them into ourselves, right? And so you may be feeling like you have to cut this away from yourself in order for you to be who you're meant to be. And that's not how it works here. The way this works is that you, again, lean into it and you accept it, you believe it, you embrace it, and then you integrate it. And once you have these shadows integrated, then you're no longer being led by them. You're actually being led by your light, because you brought that light to your shadows, right? You brought that light to those triggers, to those parts of you that are uncomfortable, to those traumas that are there present. You have accepted your life for what it is, instead of trying to change it to something else that it's not really meant to be, right? And so how can you bring a little bit more? And I want to invite you, I'm going to give you something to think about, right? How can I be more authentically me, and how can I connect deeper and in a more positive way into my shadows? I want to invite you to journal that this week if you can. How can I connect more positively to my shadows? How can I accept my shadows? How can I accept my triggers, right? And how can I lean into who I'm meant to be, right? In this lifetime. Who am I? Right? Give yourself that permission to bring that conversation with yourself, okay? All right, dear Taurus, that's what I have for you. We're moving on to Geminis. Okay, so Geminis, let's go ahead and see what Spirit has for you. Gemini. What's the message, dear Spirit of Soul Simon, that we have for Geminis at this time? What can we support Geminis with today? Thank you. Gemini, you may be feeling right now, okay, this is the card of journey, but this is truly a crossroads card, okay? The crossroads card, we have the Cosmic Father card coming up for you, and we have the card of Spores coming up for you, dear Gemini. We have the card of the journey, which really this card I'm going to be renaming to the crossroads, because this card specifically is showing the journey when you kind of get into a place where you have to make a decision. You are being invited to make a decision at this time, and you may be feeling like you don't know if one path is the right path versus the other. And I'm here to tell you that the path is the path that you take is the correct path, regardless of which one it is, because each one is going to support you with certain lessons. Now, one thing that I can tell you right now is that you may want to lean into the path that is going to bring you more structure. That's the message that I'm feeling, that I'm receiving here, is that you may want to lean into the path that is bringing you more structure, that feels more organized, that feels more like you can flow a little better, because there's sort of like there's guardrails, right? Kind of supporting you there. And also you want to think about also when you're looking at the path, right? There's going to be another one that's going to be more about your mental, more about potential, more about like this excitement of what if, right? All of this what if. There's going to be this other side of the path where that's going to be, you can take this path if you need to, but if you're going to do that, make sure that you are taking that you're integrating a little bit of structure into your path. Meaning, so if you have an idea and you want to develop it, how can you bring more structure into that idea? If you have an inspiration to do something new, maybe to start a new project or start a new business or start a project in your job, whatever that is, how can you present that with some structure? Do not come just with the idea. Make sure that you're bringing the idea with the structure, or how that idea is going to be developed. That is the message here for you, dear Gemini. The same thing with relationships. If you are dealing with a situation in your relationship where you are looking to make a decision in regards to how to move past the situation, do not just come with an idea. Make sure that you're coming in with with the idea and the execution of that idea. Okay. Now, you may be dealing with a little bit of conflict at this time, dear Gemini. Based on what I'm seeing here, you have the 5 of Wands, and so you're being a little bit of ego, right? Energy is going to be up, and up in the air right now. And remember that this is Mercury retrograde at this time. Okay. So just remember to take everything with a grain of salt. Do not take anything personal that is being said right now. Try to avoid that conflict and try to see how you can bring a little bit more of that cooperation and resolution, right? Bring more of that of that opportunity to bring collaboration. And so when you shift that around into collaboration, and maybe even talk about it, just say it out loud. Okay, I want to collaborate with you. How can we move through this together? That will really shift the energy for you, and you'll be able to move through this a little easier. It might not be as fast, meaning that people might not react to it as fast as they usually would, because again, we are in Mercury retrograde. People are dealing with their own stuff. People are being triggered in many ways. There's shadows that are showing up for people, and so you might need to repeat this a few times to get through them. So just be mindful of that. All right, so that's what I have for you, dear Gemini. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, so what do we have for Cancer, dear Spirit? What do we have for Cancer at this time? Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. All right. What else do we need to know about Cancers for Mercury retrograde? Thank you. All right, dear Cancers, we have the card of shape-shifting for you, the card of mold for you, and we got the card of the crossroads as well for you. So the first card that came up here is the card of shape-shifting, which tells me that you're being invited to be a little bit more flexible during this time, okay? How can you be more into your own expression and not into your own expression beyond the ego? Okay, that's the biggest question here. How can you be in the expression of your true expression beyond the ego at this time? There is sort of like an influence at this time that is sort of external, meaning that it could be an interaction with someone that is not bringing a healthy experience for you, and hence the reason why you may be leaning more to the ego, because of the fact that this energy of the mold is sort of creating that unhealthy sort of pattern for you, like sort of like triggering this pattern for you. And so you're being invited to bring a little bit of nourishment. Make sure that you're caring for yourself. Make sure that you're caring for your health. Make sure that you're caring for not only your physical health, but your spiritual health, your mental health, like whatever you can do that will bring wellness, all round wellness, right? For yourself is important during this time, okay? Especially because of these external influences. This could potentially also be for some of you, especially if you are doing any spiritual work. It could potentially be related to entities, maybe entities that you may have to clear from your environment, from your home. So make sure that you pay attention to that, maybe doing some clearings around your home. That would be very helpful for you. Or even clearing your energy field and clearing your auric field will be very helpful for you, because of these entities sort of like influencing and bringing a lot of energies that are not really yours. You're kind of taking on things that are not really yours at this time. So remember, you want to make sure that you're shifting into who you're meant to be, your true self, right? We also have the card of the crossroads, which tells me that this is the choice that you have. You have the choice to either connect to your inner guidance, connect to your inner wisdom, or you have the choice to continue to react to these external influences or energies. Now, what I see here, we got the Six of Wands, and I see that you will move through this successfully. I don't think that this is going to be something that that is sticky. It doesn't feel sticky. It actually feels like it's something just even like just this today or this week, like, and it'll just last for like a day. So like, just be patient with yourself when that happens. If it already happened, or if it's happening right now, you're more than welcome to come back here. And yesterday I posted a clearing for the collective, to realign your chakras, and it also requested for clearings around entities as well. So please feel free to listen to that clearing from yesterday or any other of the clearings that I posted here on this channel, or even you can go over to the Akashic Records channel and support yourself there. So I'll be happy to I'll be happy if you support yourself in that way. But that's what I have for you, dear Cancer. Moving on to Leo. Moving on to Leo, Leo, Leo. What do we have here for Leos? What's the message for Leo? Dear Leo, we have card of the Cosmic Mother that came up twice, and I will explain why. And then we have the card of the Fruit. So first of all, dear Leo, you're being invited to connect to your feminine energy at this time. How can you connect with your sense of compassion, soften your energy at this time? How can you really feel into the sense of mother, or what mother means to you? What does mother, the word mother, mean to you, dear Leo? And how can you feel into your connection with your own motherhood, meaning your own expression of motherhood? How does that show up in your own life? Right. And again, it doesn't necessarily need have to mean that you have to have children for this. It's just like, what does it bubble up for you, right? What does Leo, I'm sorry, what does mother mean to you? Oh, I feel like I'm clearing some energy there. So what does mother mean to you, and how can you connect with that relationship with mother and that expression of mother, right? The expression of mother on this planet. How can you connect to that? I also want to invite you to think about how can you bring a little bit of more of that physical expression of nourishment and mother, like motherly energy, connecting to also your womb, connecting to your cycle, if you continue to have your cycle. But if you don't have a cycle right now, or maybe you're not, you're done with your cycles, even connecting to that energy of the womb, right? It's important for you right now. You're also being invited to connect to make sure that you are setting boundaries at this time, dear Leo. I see here the Seven of Wands, which tells me that you need to stand up for yourself. You gotta make sure that you're setting your proper boundaries, and that you are aligning yourself with what feels right for you, what feels compassionate and soft and gentle for you. Okay, that is what I have for you, dear Leo. We're gonna move on to Virgo. Virgos. What's the message for Virgo, dear Spirit? Thank you. All right, thank you, Spirit. All right, we got Virgos. Thank you. Dear Virgos, we have the card of Grandfather Air for you. We got the card of Cosmic Child. And we have the card of Inertia for you, dear Virgo. All right, so for you, dear Virgo, we are being invited to tell you that it's important that you work on communicating and speaking your truth. Now, remember that we are a Mercury retrograde, and sometimes when we are in that energy of the retrograde, it may be difficult for us to activate that truth and that understanding of our throat and what our throat and our heart are trying to say. So this is a time for you to practice connecting with your words, connecting with your truth, connecting with your throat, expressing yourself, even singing, even connecting to music and singing. That would be a very powerful tool for you, dear Virgo. So that's an opportunity here for you. And as we speak, I'm kind of like clearing my throat chakra as well. Now, we're also invited to tell you here that you potentially may feel like you don't have all the tools within yourself. Like you may feel certain times where you're like, you know what? I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have everything that I need. And part of it is because you're dealing with a little bit of resistance to being present with yourself, to being acceptant, to the acceptance of who you are. And you are being invited by the card of the cosmic child to see yourself with that inner power, to see yourself as the beautiful, powerful creation of this universe. You are here. Just the fact that you are born, just think about the fact that you were born here on this planet. You're a miracle. You're a miracle, dear soul. And so I want to invite you to really think about, how can you lean in to the understanding that you are a walking miracle, and that you have wisdom and truth that needs to be expressed at this time? Why are you having such a hard time speaking your truth? Lean into that a little bit. Why are you having such a hard time speaking your truth at this time? We also have the Two of Pentacles right now that is coming up, and it's upside down, which tells me that you have been dealing with a little bit of overwhelm. Maybe you're feeling a little bit chaotic at this time. That's part of the, maybe you're overextending yourself. Part of the reason why you may be dealing with that resistance is because you feel like you have to get it all done. You have to be the one that holds the entire world on your shoulders. And that is not how life works, dear Virgo. You want to make sure that you lean in to the support and the and just let go when it's time to let go, so that you don't lose your balance, you don't overextend yourself, or you feel like you're spiraling down. Because of the fact that this is showing up for you during Mercury retrograde, that tells me that this is something that you may not be even aware of, or you may just be subconsciously just doing all the time without even realizing. So if you're feeling that overwhelm and that overextending essence or energy, just know that this is happening because it needs to be addressed. You need to change this. Things need to start shifting around at this time. So the first thing that you want to do is definitely speaking up what your needs are, so that you can bring back things back into balance, so that people are not going to know if what help you need if you don't speak up, right? So just make sure that you do that, dear Virgo. That's what I have for you, dear Virgo. Moving on to Libra. My beautiful Libras. Let's see what Spirit of Psilocybin has for you, dear Libra. Moving on to Libra. Spirit, thank you for this opportunity to share messages. Please tell me, what's the message for Libra at this time? Ooh, this fell. Let's see what this card is about. Okay. All right, beautiful. Okay, so 4 cards came up for you, so we're going to honor them, dear Libra, because that one flew out and obviously needed to be part of the reading. So I want to make sure that we honor it. So we have Cosmic Father, the Sun card, and we have Grandfather Air and Light Medicine for you, dear Libra. So what we have here is, first of all, the understanding and what is your connection with Father, even with your own father on this lifetime. What is your connection with that? And how can you bring a little bit more of healing into those father wounds, or those it could potentially be, it doesn't have to be that you had a traumatic experience with your father, but it could be that maybe there's some things that you wish were different in your relationship. How can you bring a little bit more healing into that? How can you lean into that and have those conversations with your parents, if they're still around, or if they're not, maybe even bringing them in spirit and having that conversation, lighting a candle for them. Now, I want to say something here is that we have the card of the Sun coming up, and next to Father, that's interesting to me because the Sun is such a beautiful, powerful, masculine energy, and is a very just active, fiery energy, which tells me that you're being invited to take action, which today is day of Mars. And so it's interesting because we're kind of being invited to take this. So what action can you take right now in regards to your relationship with Father, or what fatherhood means to you, and what that expression means to you, and how can you bring a little bit more healing into that? Now, I want to say something in regards to this specific card of the Sun, is that this also has to do with your self-worth. So there could potentially be something in relationship to your third chakra, which would be your solar plexus chakra, that is being influenced by this belief, or even maybe trauma, or situation that may be running on the subconscious right now, that are related to your father, or your experience of having a father or being a father, right? That is kind of creating like this sense of not being enough, or not feeling like you can shine, or that you're shining in that regard, right? Or that you can or that you're receiving that energy in some shape or form. So I want to invite you to really think about that at this time, right? This is maybe showing up right now because it needs to be, it's especially because we got Venus in retrograde too. I mean, not only Mercury, but we got Venus in retrograde too. So this is relational, feels very relational to me, and it feels like it has to do with relationship, right? That relationship to father and what that means to you. Now, the other thing that I see here as well is the card of grandfather, air, and light medicine, meaning what that tells me here is that you're being invited to use music or song or expression through the voice to bring in that light medicine. So even connecting to light language, if you don't know about light language, you can research. There's light language practitioners out there, or you can even try to bring in that light language yourself by meditating and just singing, just literally singing any tones or toning. That is going to be very powerful for you, dear Libra. Remember that you are an air sign already, so connecting to the air medicine is going to be very powerful and really beautiful for you. Now, another thing that I want to say in regards to this reading is that you are being invited to really think about what is the legacy that you're leaving behind, right? Where are your roots coming from? We see here ancestry and family. So there could potentially be ancestral aspects of your family tree that want to come forth and want to receive healing from you, right? And you get to be the one that leaves that legacy behind. You get to be the one that heals this expression in your own family tree. So think about, how is this ancestral expression of father showing up in your own family tree? What are the patterns here, and how can you bring light medicine into that? How can you bring expression into that? How can you maybe even write poetry or do something that will allow you to release this from a place of compassion and love, and a place of creativity? Okay, that's what I have for you, dear Libra. We're moving on to Scorpios. All right, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio, let's see what's the message that we have here for Scorpio. Thank you, Spirit. Beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so for Scorpios, we have the Rainbow card, we have Spirit Animal card, and Cosmic Father. Okay, so we have here the Rainbow card telling us that you are in this moment, you are in this beautiful space of blessings that are ready to be basically delivered to you. Whether you have received these blessings so far or not yet, just know that these blessings are coming your way, and that you're kind of like finalizing some really deep work that you've been doing so far. You're being invited to connect with your spirit animals. You may have some visions. Maybe you are seeing some animals that are repetitive in your environment. Maybe you're thinking about an animal, or maybe you're feeling inclined to connect with an animal right now. That's your spirit animal calling you. So I want to invite you to really think about, how can you bring in that connection with your spirit animal, whether it is through learning about them, whether it is through sitting meditation, calling them in, whether it is to maybe even get a picture and put it on your altar, whatever that is for you, dear Scorpio. Just try to connect with your spirit animals that are coming through for you, because they're really supporting you. They're supportive and this at this time. I also have the card of the Queen of Swords here upside down that is coming through, and that tells me that you may have been dealing with a little bit of pessimistic you may be feeling a little pessimistic, right? You may be feeling a little bit like, oh, this is just, things are not feeling so good. And that's the reason why Spirit is telling you, hey, blessings are upon you, and make sure that you remember this. Part of the reason why this pessimism is coming through is because of your relationship to father. So I want to invite you to really think about how can you connect with that relationship with father and allow yourself to release and alchemize whatever it is that you're holding in right now that is keeping you from forgiving and letting go, right? Just remember that all of that energy that has been built up for you during this time is really serving you as a way of connecting with your light. And so this is a time for you to just kind of shift that around and remember that, okay? All right, so moving on to Scorpio. I'm sorry, I was done with you, Scorpio, and now moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. What do we have for Sagittarius right now? Sagittarius, what's the message for you? Let's see, Spirit, what's the message for Sagittarius? Thank you, Spirit. Give me clear message. Thank you. Thank you. Sagittarius, oh my goodness, we have a lot of these coming through for you guys. So there's an overall thing here. I may have to talk about this later on the channel. Okay, so for you, dear Sagittarius, we have the shadow medicine coming through. We have the card of the journey or crossroads in the journey, and we have the card of cosmic father, which that tells me that you are right now being triggered in regards to certain situations in regards to your relationship with father, your relationship with the masculine energy. And that is something that is bringing a lot of confusion for you, and you're not really sure where to go or what path to take at this time. You may be dealing with the fact that we have the King of Pentacles upside down, and you may be dealing with the fact that you are dealing with someone who is potentially very possessive or maybe a little bit materialistic, even someone who may be wasteful. And that person is definitely someone who is kind of keeping you a little bit confused on, is this the type of energy that I want in my life? So this feels very romantic in nature. Someone who could potentially be standing or like it doesn't necessarily have to be your father, but they kind of remind you of your father, right? Like it could be someone who reminds you energetically, and that's the reason why you're kind of leaning into that person. So because of that, we have the King of Cups upside down. So I wanted to kind of lean in a little bit more into tarot here, because what I'm seeing here is that you may be dealing with someone who has repressed emotions, who doesn't know, they're kind of reactive. And at this time, you're being invited to really think about, why is it that you are inviting this person into your life? What is it about them that reminds you, that feels sort of similar to the past, right? You're being invited to think about how you can move into a place of taking an action or a decision that is aligned with what you really want versus what feels familiar to you. Now I see here that we have the energy of conflict. We got the Three of Pentacles upside down, which tells me that your this expression of the this person in your life is definitely bringing a lot of conflict, and there's no supportive energy here. Like there's lack of support. And so I want to invite you to really think about this, right, dear Sagittarius. This is showing up around this time with Venus in retrograde and Mercury in retrograde to show you the real shadows of what this relationship is bringing into your life and how this is impacting you. So I want to invite you to really think about, is this something that you want to continue pursuing, or you want to continue in your path? How can you move from this experience into an experience that feels more aligned and more free, and also more open and loving, not only for you but also for that other person that's in your life? Okay, so I want to invite you to think about that, dear Sagittarius. That's what I have for you. And then moving on to Capricorn. So what's the message for Capricorn for Mercury in retrograde? Thank you. All right, dear Capricorn, we have the card of spores, have the card of the sun, and we have the card of the journey, the crossroads journey. So, dear Capricorn, what I see here is that you are being invited to kind of connect more with those ideas that are coming through for you. You may be dealing with a little bit of overwhelming thoughts, or maybe you're feeling like there's potential to start over. You're kind of being pushed into a new way of thinking or a new way of being at this time. And because of that, you are being invited by the spirit of psilocybin to remember your self-worth. Remember who you are, remember your light, remember who you are, and be that person unapologetically. Do not step away from being, the beautiful light that you are in this planet. You are also being presented with an opportunity to do the opposite of that, because you're being told that, who you are is not the right version, for example, or is not the right expression, for example. So you get to take that choice to follow the path that leads to the beautiful expression of who you are. Okay. You're also being invited to think about, we got the Three of Swords right side up for you, dear Capricorn, which tells me that you are being invited to embrace healing at this time. There could be potentially trauma or grief that is sort of really creating a lot of this feeling like you don't know if that's the right path for you, because of these experiences in the past, because of the fact that you were sort of like, I'm hearing the word brainwashed, right? Almost like brainwashed into believing that your expression is not worthy. You're sort of like in this place of like kind of being feeling lost, and feeling sad and upset about where you are, and who you are, and why are things feeling so unfair, right? And so I want to invite you to really think about the fact that this is a trauma response. This is not who you truly are, right? And we got to think about, who are we surrounding ourselves by? And so when you think about that, when you start surrounding yourself by people who really support you and see you for who you truly are and celebrate your energy, then you'll notice how all of this energy, all of this trauma will just slowly melt away, because then you'll be seen for who you are. Okay, we have here the card of the Knight of Swords, and then there's someone in your life that is bringing a little bit of oppressive energy. Someone who's sort of like ruthless and very cold, maybe a little bit of controlling energy. And that is sort of like why you are being invited to really lean in to giving yourself permission to start over, right? You don't have to be around this person anymore. You can be yourself. You can, this is basically a pep talk by spirit. You are exactly the perfect expression of who you're meant to be, dear Capricorn. Do not let anyone else, because of their own belief systems, keep you from being who you truly are and keep you from expressing for who you truly are. You can make that decision. You can make the decision to move away from being around those people. Okay, when you do that, if you make the decision to move away from that, then remember that your confidence will come back. The Three of Wands is coming through. So your confidence will come back. You start feeling so much more lighter. You're going to be able to look ahead with so much excitement. And again, you're going to be able to start over and give yourself permission to see the world from a brighter place. So that's what I want to invite you to do today, dear Capricorn. Step away from those who are not seeing your light, who do not see you for the magical being that you are, dear Capricorn. Okay, so we are moving on to Aquarius. Dear Aquarius, what does Spirit have for you at this time? Let's take a look here. All right, what is the message for Aquarius right now, dear Spirit? What's the message for Aquarius? Okay, thank you. What's the message for Aquarius? Thank you. Ooh, well that fell. Okay. Give me clear messages, please. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. All right, dear Aquarius, we have the card of grandfather air coming through for you, dear Aquarius. We got the card of spirit animals coming through for you. We got the card of intergalactic, dear Aquarius. And I did pull from Tarot, Ace of Wands upside down. Okay, so first of all, dear Aquarius, how are you communicating so far? How are you expressing yourself? How are you sharing your truth? How are you connecting with what matters to you at this time? Okay, you may be dealing with a little bit of delays at this moment, especially when it comes down to communication or technology. Maybe dealing with a little bit of breakdown on in the sense of like understanding each other, or maybe that delay happens because you're there could be just it could be technology wise, or it could just be the person understanding you or catching up to what you're trying to say, because you're coming in from a very visionary perspective, very advanced perspective. People might not be catching up to you at this time, and that could potentially bring a little bit of frustration. So what I want to invite you to do is to ground during this time, dear Aquarius, and recognize that this is the time for you to lean in. You can even call in support from your spirit animals, so that when you're communicating from a place of grounded and current and from a current place, so that whatever ideas that are coming through at this moment that feel very advanced, because we have the intergalactic card, which that tells me that you're receiving a lot of downloads, a lot of information that is important and is important for people to know, and yet the information is so advanced that people cannot grasp it as of yet, dear Aquarius. So I want to invite you to really step back a little bit and think about how can we, calling in your spirit animals, how can we like realign the conversation and realign my truth, or realign what's coming through, what I'm channeling, from a place of, under, like, from a place where people can understand. How can I make it more layman terms, right? Like for people. That's what I see here for you. I also see here that we got the Knight of Cups, right side up, dear Aquarius. So we have this beautiful artistic energy coming through, and of course, because you are bringing in so much of that, again, that very advanced sort of um, uh, ideas and expression and channeling. Really, you're channeling so much of like so much support for those around you, that and in a way that is very out of the box, that this could potentially bring an opportunity for you to help bring certain conflicts back into balance. So again, lean into this opportunity. Remember that if you see that people are kind of like, you start talking and then you see them kind of like, their eyes are just going somewhere, just remember to call in your spirit guides, call in your spirit team. Please let me say this in layman terms so that I can bring things back into an understanding, and then there's no delays in what I'm trying to express, and people can come into agreements and in a place of understanding from for what I'm trying to say here. So that's what I see here. Just lean into your spirit guides and your spirit team for that, and you'll be just fine, dear Aquarius. Okay, so we're going to move on to beautiful Pisces right now. Hi, Nikki. How are you, Nikki? All right, so we're going to move on to beautiful Pisces. There we go, Pisces. All right, so we got Pisces here. All right, Spirit, please give me the messages for Pisces at this time. All right, thank you. What else do we need to know for Pisces for Mercury retrograde? All right, so that fell here. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Spirit. Pisces, we have the card of embodiment. We have the card of Luna. and mold. So, dear Pisces, we have the card of embodiment telling me that you are invited to ground your visions at this time. How can you bring those visions, those dreams, my beautiful Neptunian? How can you bring those dreams into more of an action, like bring a little bit more action? Today is perfect day to talk about action because hey, it's Tuesday, day of Mars, day of taking action, and today is a very creative energy as well available for us according to the guide that I was reading, astrology guide that I was reading. So today is a really great day for you to connect to your creativity as well as taking aligned action with that creativity, dear Pisces. We also have the card of the moon at this time. And what that tells me is that you're being invited to really think about where you are in the cycle of your vision, right? Like you may be feeling like, oh my gosh, I just want this now, or well, why is this not ready right now, right? Maybe a little bit of impatience. So you're being invited to really think about your position in that cycle of creativity, right? And when we think about it from that perspective, then we can be a little bit more patient and say, oh, you know what, this is where I'm at right now, and I'm just going to move into the next step. Now, you may be dealing with a little bit of lack of self care at this time. The card of mold is present, letting us know that you are. It's an invitation to care for yourself in many ways. It doesn't have to be necessarily only physical. It can be mental, spiritual, as well as emotional, right? So how can you bring a little bit more of that self-care into your environment, into your routine, so that you can feel a little bit more aligned, so that you can be more in that embodiment of who you know you are, dear Pisces? You're being invited to align action at this time. You're also being invited to think about how can you bring a little bit more boundaries into your energy. How can you create more boundaries for that create a little bit more space for you, right? Like maybe you're saying yes to too many things at this time, or maybe you're allowing people into your life, into your experience, to kind of do whatever they want, and because you're trying to be maybe nice or maybe open at this time, and then you're kind of allowing them just to take over your territory, take over your energy, and then you're feeling depleted. So dear Pisces, this is the time for you to say, you know what, maybe it's time for me to create a little bit of space, right? Not because you're trying to separate yourself, but because you need to figure out where you are existing in this experience, right? And how can you bring a little bit more understanding of where, you know, where is it that you start and where is it that they end, right? That's the message that I see here. However, now that doesn't mean that you have to isolate yourself, dear Pisces. You are being invited to lean into your community, lean into friendships and gatherings, and make sure that you go to any social events that feel like they activate you, that feel safe for you, that feel like there's a respect towards your boundaries, that feel like there's this beautiful opportunity for you to feel fully in your own energy without having to give up your own energy, if that makes any sense. So like whatever you give, you receive as well. You feel nourished back in those experiences, right? So I want to invite you to really think about that, dear Pisces, and how can you bring a little bit more of that embodied action into your daily life. And again, remember to take care of yourself. And where are you in your journey of grounding your visions, dear Pisces? So that is what I have for you, dear Pisces, and that's what I have for everyone. So thank you everyone for being here, for being part of these readings. I'm having fun doing these, and I hope that you're having fun receiving that support. And so yeah, just sharing the love here. Just know that I don't necessarily get paid for any of these. So if you want to, by any reason, support and donate to support this channel, please do go down and click or up if you are on Facebook, and click on the donation button, whether it is for this specific reading or maybe for the clearings that I've been doing here, just to support the channel so that I can continue coming live, and be able to support you and continue to support. If you are someone who wants to support as well, but you cannot give a donation, I want to ask you to please make sure that you share and like this video. Share and like this video. Sharing is caring, y'all. Sharing is caring. I want to invite you also to go over to my website, thebloominglotushealing.com, so that you can receive a clearing or even a message if you want something more specific to you at this time. I also want to invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm so grateful for your presence, for your energy. And I want to send so much love and gratitude to you. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Namaste.